The music world stood still the day the heartbreaking news arrived. Legendary R&B and soul singer Peabo Bryson had passed away, leaving behind a legacy that stretched across generations of music lovers. For millions of fans, the announcement felt impossible to accept. His voice had been a constant companion through love stories, weddings, heartbreaks, and cherished memories for decades. For many, Peabo Bryson wasn't simply a singer. He was a soundtrack to life itself. Throughout his remarkable career, he delivered unforgettable performances that showcased one of the most powerful and recognizable voices in modern music. His music crossed boundaries. His voice united audiences. And his legacy touched hearts around the world. Now, family members, close friends, fellow musicians, and devoted fans have gathered to say their final goodbye. The atmosphere is filled with sorrow. Yet no one inside the room realizes that the most emotional moment of the day has not happened yet. Before the ceremony comes to an end, Peabo Bryson's son will step forward and share a deeply personal tribute that will leave mourners struggling to hold back tears. What he reveals about his father, and the memories he chooses to share, will become the moment everyone remembers long after the funeral is over. But before that unforgettable moment arrives, it is important to remember the man whose life inspired so many. Long before the awards, sold-out performances, and international recognition, Peabo Bryson was simply a young boy with an extraordinary gift. From an early age, he discovered that singing allowed him to express emotions that words alone could never fully capture. Family members quickly recognized his natural talent, and as he grew older, music became more than a hobby. It became his purpose. While many young dreamers abandon their ambitions when faced with challenges, Bryson remained determined. He spent countless hours refining his voice, studying music, and performing whenever opportunities appeared. Success did not arrive overnight. The journey was filled with obstacles, disappointments, and moments of uncertainty. There were times when the industry seemed unwilling to recognize the incredible talent he possessed. But Bryson never stopped believing in himself. His persistence eventually paid off. As the years passed, audiences began noticing something special whenever he stepped onto a stage. His voice carried warmth, power, and emotion in a way few artists could match. Soon, record labels took notice. Then came the breakthrough. Hit after hit elevated him to national recognition. His soulful ballads resonated deeply with listeners, earning him loyal fans around the globe. Yet despite growing fame, Bryson never lost sight of who he was. Friends often described him as humble, kind, and remarkably generous. Unlike many celebrities who become consumed by success, Bryson remained grounded. He treated people with respect. He remembered names. He took time to speak with fans. And he never forgot where he came from. Those qualities earned him admiration far beyond the music industry. As his professional life flourished, another part of his life became even more important. His family. Away from the bright lights and standing ovations, Bryson treasured his role as a husband and father. Those closest to him often recalled how his face would light up whenever conversations turned toward his loved ones. While fans saw a legendary performer, his family saw something else entirely. They saw a devoted husband, a protective father, a trusted mentor, a source of strength. Despite the demands of touring and recording, Bryson worked hard to remain present in the lives of his children. Family members frequently shared stories about quiet dinners, heartfelt conversations, and special moments that never appeared in headlines. He taught lessons that extended far beyond music. Integrity, respect, humility, perseverance. These were values he tried to pass on every day. People who knew him privately often spoke about his generosity. Whether helping a struggling friend, encouraging a young musician, or supporting loved ones through difficult times, Bryson consistently placed others before himself. His greatest pride wasn't found in trophies or awards. It was found in the people he loved, and the people who loved him in return. As the years passed, his accomplishments continued growing. Grammy Awards, chart-topping songs, and historic collaborations cemented his place among music's most respected voices. But even after achieving what many artists only dream about, Bryson remained remarkably grateful. He understood that success was fleeting. Family was forever. That belief would become one of the defining themes of his life. And perhaps, as many would later realize, one of the most important parts of his legacy. Then came the day nobody wanted to imagine. The day when the voice that had comforted millions fell silent. The announcement spread rapidly. Fans were stunned. Fellow musicians expressed their heartbreak. Tributes poured in from around the world. For those who loved him, the loss felt deeply personal. As memories flooded social media and classic songs filled the airwaves once again, one painful reality became impossible to ignore. A beloved legend was gone. And soon, family, friends, and fans would gather together to say goodbye. Little did they know that an emotional moment awaited them. One that would transform a day of mourning into a powerful celebration of love, family, and remembrance. The morning of the funeral arrived beneath a gray and quiet sky. As the sun slowly rose, a sense of sadness seemed to hang over the city itself. For many, this was not simply another funeral. It was the farewell to a voice that had accompanied some of life's most meaningful moments. Hours before the ceremony began, mourners were already gathering outside the venue. Some carried flowers. Others held old albums. A few quietly wiped tears from their eyes as they stood in line, preparing to pay their final respects to the man whose music had touched their hearts for decades. Inside, the funeral hall had been transformed into a beautiful tribute to Peabo Bryson's life. Elegant white flowers surrounded the room. Large arrangements of roses, lilies, and orchids filled the air with a gentle fragrance. Soft golden lighting cast a warm glow across the space, creating an atmosphere that felt both solemn and comforting. At the front of the hall stood a collection of photographs spanning Bryson's extraordinary journey. There were images from his earliest days as a young performer, photographs of sold-out concerts, pictures alongside fellow music legends, family portraits filled with smiles and laughter. Each image told a story. Each photograph captured a moment that could never be repeated. As guests entered the room, many paused before the display. Some smiled through tears. Others stood silently, lost in memories. Soft instrumental versions of Bryson's greatest songs drifted through the hall. The familiar melodies seemed to wrap around every person present. For a moment, it almost felt as though he was still there. Then reality returned, and with it came grief. Near the front of the room sat his family. The pain on their faces was impossible to ignore. His wife appeared heartbroken. Although surrounded by loved ones, the weight of loss was clearly visible in her eyes. Every photograph, every song, every memory seemed to remind her of the years they had shared together. Family members sat close beside her, offering comfort whenever emotions became overwhelming. At times they held hands. At other moments they simply sat together in silence. Words seemed inadequate on a day like this, because some losses are too deep to explain. As more guests arrived, familiar faces from the music industry began filling the hall. Artists who had worked alongside Bryson throughout his career came to honor his memory. Many had shared stages with him. Others had considered him a mentor. Some had been close friends for decades. Each arrival carried the same expression: sadness, respect, disbelief. Even now, it felt difficult to accept that such a remarkable voice had fallen silent. The ceremony began quietly. A minister stepped forward and welcomed everyone. His voice was calm but emotional. He spoke about faith, about love, about the impact one life can have on countless others. Then came the first tributes. Friends shared stories from years spent alongside Bryson. Stories of backstage laughter. Stories of kindness shown when nobody was watching. Stories that revealed the man behind the fame. Again and again, speakers described the same qualities: humility, generosity, compassion. Many struggled to finish their remarks. Several paused to collect themselves. Others openly cried. The audience listened in silence. Some nodded in agreement. Others reached for tissues. There was hardly a dry eye in the room. As the service continued, musical performances honored Bryson's extraordinary career. The songs carried powerful memories. For some guests, they brought back weddings and anniversaries. For others, they recalled difficult moments made easier through music. Every note felt heavier than usual. Every lyric carried new meaning. The performances transformed grief into reflection, and reflection into gratitude. Yet despite the beauty of the ceremony, a profound sadness lingered throughout the hall. Because everyone knew the same truth. This was goodbye. One by one, Speakers approached the podium. Family members shared cherished memories. Friends recounted decades of friendship. Fellow musicians expressed admiration for Bryson's talent and character. Each tribute added another layer to the portrait of an extraordinary man. Hours seemed to pass in a blur. Eventually, attendees began sensing that the service was nearing its conclusion. The scheduled speakers had finished. The music had quieted. The atmosphere shifted. A gentle stillness settled over the room. Many believed the final prayer would soon begin. Some guests glanced toward the program in their hands. Others sat quietly reflecting on everything they had heard. The hall grew noticeably calmer, almost peaceful. Then something unexpected happened. Near the front row, a chair slowly moved. A member of the family rose to their feet. At first, only a few people noticed. But within seconds, heads began turning throughout the room. Conversations stopped. Whispers disappeared. The movement immediately captured everyone's attention. Whoever this person was, they had not been listed among the scheduled speakers. A strange feeling spread through the audience. Something important was about to happen. The individual took a deep breath, then began walking toward the podium. The sound of footsteps echoed softly across the silent hall. Every eye followed. Every heart seemed to pause. The room became completely still. No one spoke. No one moved. Even those who had been quietly crying seemed frozen in anticipation. There was something about this moment that felt different. Something deeply personal. Something unforgettable. As the figure approached the stage, family members watched with tear-filled eyes. Many already understood what was coming. Others did not. But everyone could feel the emotion building. The individual finally reached the podium, placed trembling hands on either side, looked out across the crowd, and prepared to speak. The entire hall held its breath. For several long seconds, the room remained completely silent. The figure standing behind the podium lowered his head, fighting to compose himself. His hands trembled slightly as he looked across the sea of mourners gathered to honor his father. Then the audience realized who it was. It was Peabo Bryson's son. Today, he was not standing there as a private individual. He was standing there as a son saying goodbye to his father. The room grew even quieter. Many guests leaned forward in their seats. Others immediately reached for tissues. Something about the expression on his face suggested that what was about to be shared would come directly from the heart. Taking a slow breath, he began to speak. "My father belonged to the world," he said softly. "But before he was a legend, before he was a Grammy winner, before millions of people knew his name, he was simply Dad." The words landed with tremendous force. Several mourners immediately lowered their heads. Others wiped tears from their eyes. His voice shook as he continued. "People often ask me what it was like growing up with a famous father. The truth is, I never thought of him that way. To me, he wasn't the man on television. He wasn't the voice on the radio." A brief smile crossed his face. "He was the man who taught me how to ride a bike." Soft laughter mixed with tears throughout the audience. "He was the man who sat beside my bed when I was sick. The man who checked on me after school. The man who always picked up the phone no matter where he was in the world." The emotion in the room deepened. These were not stories about fame. They were stories about fatherhood, about love, about family. He paused for a moment, looking toward the front row where family members sat quietly crying. Then he shared a memory that few people had ever heard before. "When I was a kid, I remember waking up one night after a nightmare. I was scared. I couldn't go back to sleep." His voice cracked. "So I walked into Dad's room." The audience listened intently. "He didn't tell me to be brave. He didn't tell me to stop being afraid. Instead, he sat with me for hours." The son smiled through tears. "He told me that courage wasn't about never being scared. Courage was about moving forward even when you are." Many guests nodded. Some openly cried. The lesson seemed simple, yet it perfectly reflected the kind of man Peabo Bryson had been. As the tribute continued, more stories emerged. Stories that revealed sacrifices hidden behind the success. "There were times when Dad came home exhausted from touring," he said. "He'd been traveling for days. He was tired. He could barely keep his eyes open. The room remained silent. But somehow, he always found energy for us. He paused. I understand now what I didn't understand then. He wasn't doing it because he had to. His voice broke completely. He was doing it because he loved us. Across the hall, tears flowed freely. Guests who had managed to remain composed throughout the ceremony now struggled to contain their emotions. Family members embraced one another. Several musicians quietly wiped their eyes. The son continued. He taught me that success means very little if you don't share it with the people you love. His gaze moved across the audience. He taught me to respect others, to be kind, to stay humble. Then he smiled again. And trust me, Dad practiced what he preached. A few gentle laughs echoed through the hall. He treated everyone the same. Whether they were a celebrity or a stranger, he made people feel important. The audience knew exactly what he meant. Many had experienced that kindness firsthand. Then the tribute reached an even deeper level. The son looked toward his father's casket. For several seconds, he couldn't speak. When he finally did, his voice was barely above a whisper. There is something I never told him enough. The room froze. Every eye focused on the podium. Every heart seemed suspended in the moment. I never told him just how much he meant to me. Tears streamed down his face. And I think that's because I always believed there would be more time. Across the hall, quiet sobs could be heard. The pain in those words was universal. So many people understood exactly what he meant. Then came the final story, the memory that would become the defining moment of the entire funeral. Several years earlier, the son explained, he had asked his father what legacy meant. The question had come during a private conversation at home. At the time, he expected his father to talk about awards, albums, fame, achievements. Instead, Peabo Bryson gave a very different answer. His son fought back tears as he repeated the words. He told me, legacy isn't the music people remember. Legacy is the love you leave behind. The room erupted into tears. Family members openly cried. Friends lowered their heads. Even those who had never met Bryson personally found themselves overwhelmed. Because in that single sentence, he had revealed everything that truly mattered. The son took one final breath, then delivered his closing message. Dad, the world will remember your songs. They'll remember your voice. They'll remember your incredible career. His voice trembled. But our family will remember something even greater. He looked directly toward the casket. We'll remember your heart. Silence. Absolute silence. Then he whispered the final words. Thank you for being my father. I love you. And I always will. There was not a dry eye left in the hall. For several moments, nobody moved. Nobody spoke. The weight of the tribute settled over everyone present. It was more than a speech. It was a son's final gift to his father. Eventually, guests rose to their feet. A standing ovation filled the room. Not for a performance. Not for a celebrity. But for a life well lived. Outside the funeral hall, fans gathered to celebrate Peabo Bryson's legacy. His songs played softly from speakers. Strangers shared memories. Couples recalled dances to his music. Families spoke about the moments his voice had accompanied throughout their lives. Although grief remained, gratitude slowly replaced sorrow. Because Peabo Bryson's story was never just about music. It was about connection. It was about love. It was about the countless lives he touched through both his art and his character. His voice may have fallen silent, but his influence continues to echo through generations of listeners. His family will carry his memory forward. His music will continue inspiring new audiences. And the love he left behind will remain his greatest legacy of all. Long after the flowers fade and the funeral becomes a memory, people will still remember the man whose songs filled hearts with emotion and whose kindness touched everyone around him. And perhaps they will also remember the words his son shared on that unforgettable day. Legacy isn't the music people remember. Legacy is the love you leave behind. For everyone gathered there, those words became the true farewell. Not an ending, but a reminder that love never truly disappears. It simply lives on in the hearts of those left behind. Thank you for watching. Rest in peace, Peabo Bryson.